In many ways, the story of Yorinobu Arisaka resembles an ancient parable.
Throughout video gaming history, games have evolved from your bare-bones beat-em-up to something more thoughtful. What started as a way for genres to have fun now is one of the go-to mediums in modern storytelling. Latest God of War tells an epic story full of twists and turns, but it's mostly a testament that stories can be told through other forms of mediums such as video games with the same brilliant performances, score, and budget. But what the fuck is this? Did I seriously spend money on waiting 30 minutes? Reading in video games is quite a hit or miss. Rarely do we see games actually hit the mainstream that focuses every single aspect of the game on reading. But when they do hit, they fucking hit. Usually with narratives comparable to those of The Last of Us, or even better with real-world politics and ideas slipped into it to form this more cohesive world. And Disco Elysium is just that. It acts as a medium for the developers to express their ideas above the boundaries of pen and paper. I've tried this game and I was invested in it, but as time went, it gets tedious. I want to know more, but the fuck? Why do I need to read this to get the story? Why not just make a book instead if you want to write text to put text in the fucking game? I don't want to read my video game. This is basically reading. I am basically reading my video game. Enter Communism Book the Game. It's a super niche game about communism. I bought it because I heard it has a great story and it won awards for it. But I wasn't really expecting to read the game, you know? I mean, it's a game, but you have to read it, which is basically why I'm mad. So I wanted to finish this game actually, I really do, but after playing it 3 times, I never got past this part. There's just something in my brain that won't let me do it. It just won't let me do it. I can't do it. The only thing that made me replay the game 3 times was the RPG mechanic, and this is what made the game a game at first. But then it gets boring because of these texts. And by the way, I also played the final cut, which has voiceover, so you don't have to read text in it, but it doesn't feel like a game. It feels like an audiobook.
No man can afford to turn his eyes to the horizon if his rear isn't secured. If the women folk take care of that, then men can tackle the bigger issues.
The RCM doesn't discriminate. Women are held to the same standards as men, and as reflected in the quarterly statistics, are equally effective in their jobs. Unlike men, they also have to deal with the very same mentality you two are displaying right now.
I'm not saying that the game is bad, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the game is enjoyable, but I haven't reached that moment yet, because these hieroglyphics, moon runes are driving me crazy. There's just so many. I am reading a video game. What the fuck? This is new meta right here. A better way for reading to be implemented in video games is to make it optional and not the main fucking thing. This is like those papers and dusty tables that contain lore, but lore that is only necessary for lore channels in need of views. So I played God of War and I realized that it does one thing quite nicely. Most of their reading and optional lore that are usually in collectible notes and stuff are all presented in a way that is really natural. Instead of putting it in islands to find, they insert it as VO to accompany downtime in boat rides. So when you feel bored, you get lore. Hell yeah. They do have poems and shit like optional lore stuff, but it's more of a supplement for players who want to learn more. Unlike Disco Elysium, where every important stuff is either read or spoken to, I feel like this is better and what devs should do when players come in with the expectation of playing a game. I know that Disco Elysium and God of War are not comparable, but all this praise and hype I can't relate to, because I can't stand reading this for another fucking minute. So Disco Elysium is not really a game. If it was, Markiplier would have played it by now.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, you're waiting for more? Well, that's the video. That's it. Just want to complain about things and dip. Anyways, check out these videos if you want more. You know, this is gonna get dislikes. I know this is gonna get dislikes. Fuck me. Anyways, thank you.